Hey, folks, Happy New Year, and what a way to start off the new year. I think this is an incredible analogy, or I guess you could say metaphor, to what is going on right now within MAGA, which I'll get to as well. But first, I want to mention yes, I'm not on screen right now. I've been dealing with an on and off virus for the past week. I can't, one day I'm sick, and the next day I'm getting a little better, then I get worse. So I'm just going to not be on screen at the moment because I have not taken a shower, and I'm not going to subject you to that. But regardless, let's get to the story. So this just happened in the past hour or so. Tesla Cybertruck explodes at the entrance to Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. So I'll just talk over this as this is going on. I gotta say, most vehicles that would do this in this situation, you would think, well, it's clearly planted. Someone did this for whatever reason. With a Tesla, you have to ask yourself, they're kind of known for doing this. I'm going to get to a few examples in a second here. So we can't just outright assume that this was done on purpose because, again, it's happened by accident before. In fact, yesterday is the most recent example. But I do have to think in this situation, considering this is the Trump Tower in Las Vegas, that this was probably done by somebody on purpose. But just an incredible visual there. Now, let me get to, before I get to the connection that this has to Mega. As I said, this happened yesterday. So I should be clear. Another example of this happened yesterday. So Cybertruck catches fire in at the Cobb County Tesla dealership. So let's look at the date here. So December 31st. This happened literally yesterday somewhere else. So and this has happened before. From August 29th, wet Cybertruck catches fire after hitting fire hydrant. What a headline. Now, this is why I'm saying we don't. The details are still early, so I don't know if this was done on purpose or not in terms of the one in front of the Trump Tower. But we're going to learn more about that. But that's where we get to the connection here to what is happening with MAGA at the moment. So the H1B visas. This is a major debate. And you'll see why. So Vox has a good little breakdown of what's going on here. So the GOP coalition has long been split on high-skilled immigration. The party's pro-business faction has supported it, arguing it brings in the best talent and helps American companies succeed and compete globally. But the nativist or populist right opposes it as a plot by cosmopolitan elites to avoid paying American workers. Trump has straddled this divide, often praising H-1B visas, while appointees like Miller work to limit them. Quote, big tech is replacing Americans, Miller tweeted last year. So there is this divide between the business side, the Elon Musk side, the Vivek Ramaswamy side, and the Stephen Miller or the Steve Bannon side that are just outright anti-immigrant regardless of situation. Now, there is a greater issue in terms of a pro-worker issue, or I should say an anti-worker issue with H-1B visas. One of those issues is that H-1B visas and prevailing wage levels. This is from the Economic Policy Institute. Majority of H-1B employers, including major U.S. tech firms, use the program to pay migrant workers well below market wages. So by bringing people in on H-1B visas, claiming that they can't find that talent, within the country, they are able to essentially pay people less. Now, this is still I want to be clear here that a lot of these jobs are still going to highly skilled employees, so they're still being paid in many cases fairly well, at least based on what they're doing, or I should say because of what they're doing. But the real issue with H-1B visas is that they are tied to your employer. So if you are laid off, you're out of the country. You have 60 days to find another job and hope that that employer wants to and has the ability to apply for H-1B visa for you and keep you in the country. but you have very little autonomy over your own life because of that. So, of course, this is fantastic for employers because they can bring people in, not have to care uh, about what happens to them once they're, laid off, and it both adds the ability for them to save money because they're able to pay that person less, even if it's just a little bit less, but able to pay them less, while at the same time not having to worry about you know keeping this employer on if they just need to get rid of them to save some money. So this is the big debate that's going on. You have Elon Musk on the pro H1B visa side saying the reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H1B. Take a big step back and F yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. So, this seems to be the issue he's very passionate, if not the most passionate about, in terms of any actual policy issue. Is he just loves H-1B visas. So, again, this benefits tech, uh, large tech companies to a great degree. A lot of them, like places like Amazon, Google, they rely heavily on H-1B visas, at least compared to other large corporations. But on the other side of that, you have Steve Bannon. So here's what he is saying to Elon Musk.
Hey, I've said many times that Elon came and Elon's money helped organize the grassroots effort. In his engineering mind, he saw what the problem was as we saw it, and he supported it. And for that, he gets a place at the table. There's no doubt. You should. It's $250 million in June, not an entire cycle, in 5 months. But that dinner with Sachs and that check from Elon came at Biden's, when Biden, in the debate or right before the debate, and Biden, they kind of saw the numbers of where this thing was heading. They're recent converts, and we love converts. Hell, I'm a Catholic. We used to be in the convert business, not so much anymore. We can't keep what we got. But in the old days, half the saints are missionaries. We love converts. But the converts sit in the back and study for years and years and years to make sure you understand the faith and you understand the nuances of the faith and understand how you can internalize the faith. Don't come up and go to the pulpit in your first week here and start lecturing people about the way things are going to be. If you're going to do that, we're going to rip your face off.
Okay, I think that's enough. So he's very clear about his position there. That, hey, Elon, you are a recent convert. Get the hell to the back and learn from people like me. Sit down, shut the hell up, and listen to the Steve Bannons, the Stephen Millers. That said, let's be very clear here. The business community, big tech, these have been major pieces of Donald Trump, of the Republican Party. They rely heavily on massive corporations. So if their interest or if their desire is to maintain H-1B visas, then they are likely going to get what they want, even if it goes against this greater idea of anti-immigration. Let's be clear, like that. We'll get to Trump's position on this in a second because he's been all over the place, of course, but he is still going to be incredibly anti-immigrant, and there are still there's been reports about plans about mass deportations, and I don't want to get deep in all that right now, but none of that is going away. H-1B visas operate in the minds of someone, let's say of Elon Musk and I guess of Trump, operate outside of that plan, of that idea of being anti-immigrant, of being, for mass deportations. For them, H-1B visas are simply a way to bring in workers that these companies need and they want to maintain as, indentured servants. Whereas the people that they want to, demonize, they're still going to demonize those people. But H-1B visas in their minds operate outside of that. So let's get to Trump, so this is from 2020. Trump suspends visas allowing hundreds of thousands of foreigners to work in the U.S. The move is fiercely opposed by business leaders who say it will block their ability to recruit critically needed workers from countries overseas. So the excuse at the time was that they were doing this because of COVID. to try and strengthen, the American working class. I'm not sure why that would change outside of COVID. It's not like, things are fantastic for people in terms of jobs and being paid properly uh, when there isn't a pandemic going on. But regardless, essentially at this point, Stephen Miller in 2020 got his way. So I just want to get the proper date here. So that was June 22nd, 2020. So this is when Stephen Miller got his way, and they were able to at least temporarily suspend H-1B visas. And also part of that plan was an attempt to, pause and sort of work on how the H-1B visa process operated as a way to cut down on H-1B visas. So it was both a pause and attempt to reconform what they actually were to serve the interests of people like Steve Bannon and Stephen Miller. Now, here is Trump yesterday. I believe this is during a New Year's Eve party where there's some music during this. I'm going to see if I can, in post, take out some of the music because it's just annoying to listen to. But here's Trump.
You need. Why'd you change your mind on H-1B visas, sir? I didn't change my mind. I've always felt we have to have the most competent people in our country. We need competent people. We need smart people coming into our country. And we need a lot of people coming in. We're going to have jobs like we've never had before. But sir, you said you changed your position.
He definitely changed his position. It's not just based on what he did during the pandemic, but based on what he has said countless times. So, in case you weren't able to hear that properly and I wasn't able to remove the music, Trump said, "I didn't change my mind. I always felt we have to have the most competent people in our country. We need competent people. We need smart people coming into our country. We need a lot of people coming in." First of all, just an amazing line, considering, he's obviously said the opposite many times. We need a lot of people coming in. We're going to have jobs like we've never had before. Okay, interesting. Ron Flakowski shared this old tweet from Trump. My position on visas. And goes on to say, Megyn Kelly asked about highly skilled immigration. The H-1B program is neither highly skilled nor immigration. These are temporary foreign workers imported from abroad for the explicit purpose of substituting for American workers at lower pay. I remain totally committed to eliminating rampant, widespread H-1B abuse and ending outrageous practices such as those that occurred at Disney in Florida when Americans were forced to train their foreign replacements. I will end forever the use of the H-1B as a cheap labor program and institute an absolute requirement to hire American workers first for every visa and immigration program. No exceptions. Very clearly a change. And there's also a little clip here put together by, who's this? The Midas Touch Network. So you can see the differences here.
Nobody knows the system better than me. I know the H-1B. I know the H-2B. Nobody knows it better than me. I know the H-1B very well, and it's something that I frankly use, and I shouldn't be allowed to use. We shouldn't have it. Very, very bad for workers.
As we speak, we're finalizing H-1B regulations so that no American worker is replaced ever again. H-1Bs should be used for top, highly paid talent to create American jobs, not as inexpensive labor program to destroy American jobs.
Why'd you change your mind on H-1B visas, sir?
I didn't change.
And we saw that last one again. I don't want to hear that music again. All right. So there you go. Clearly a shift. So you can see why the Tesla on fire in front of Trump Tower in Vegas is quite apt for the beginning of the year.